Are you trying to determine if a crown or veneer is better for yourself? Are you trying to know what the difference is, the prices, how the procedures work? Well, stay tuned. In this video, I'm going to go through the pros and cons of each, and hopefully you're going to be able to determine what a better option is for yourself. So let's first start off by defining or showing you what a crown is. It's going to be really hard to see, but this is a crown here going on one of the patients here in the next week. A crown basically wraps around the whole tooth structure. So when the dentist is preparing the teeth, they have to drill around the whole tooth. It typically doesn't have to be drilled a lot, but it really depends on the specific tooth, how decayed it is, if there's any other restorations. But they have to drill around the whole tooth so you can plop this crown on the actual tooth. That's different than a veneer. Typically a veneer is just going on the front of the tooth, and it may wrap around the top a little bit, wrap around the top of the tooth. And it does that just so it can latch on a little bit better. So the biggest difference between a crown and a veneer is how much of the tooth is actually covered by the restoration. What is a crown and a veneer actually made out of? Typically it's a version of porcelain, some version of that depending on the lab, depending on the dentist, but they're both going to be made out of a very, very similar material. So the material difference won't be that difference between a crown and a veneer. Do crowns and veneers stain? Well, the answer to that is nope. Crowns or veneers don't stain. So that is why when you're choosing your color, if you want to have a nice white color, most people will say whiten your teeth before you actually choose the color of your crown or your veneer. The reason is this: what if you choose a color that matches your teeth really well right now, then you get them whitened, all of a sudden you're gonna have these kind of yellower crowns or yellower veneers and some white teeth in the back. Or vice versa, what if you get really, really white teeth, but you don't let that color settle? And then you're gonna have these really, really white crowns or veneers, and then as your teeth get more yellow over time, it's gonna have like a big contrast in between the crowns and the veneers. How do you choose between a crown and a veneer? Well, it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. If you just want the color changed or the shape changed of your tooth, typically you're gonna go with the veneer of some sort. If the tooth is more badly broken down, if it has cavities or fillings, if there's big chips or it's slightly broken, you're gonna go with the crown. But really the best way to determine between a crown or veneer, what option is better for yourself, is to go into your dental office and ask him or her what the best option is for you. Things to consider before getting veneers or crowns for your teeth for purely cosmetic reasons. All right, number one is typically if it's for cosmetic reasons, it won't be covered by insurance. So the price range for a crown or veneer that's going to be for cosmetic reasons can be anywhere from probably $900 a tooth to some of our friends in California may be paying $300 or $3,500 per tooth. The other thing to notice is they do not last forever. The best type of crowns or veneers may last you 10, 20, 30 years potentially, but no dentist will tell you that veneer or a crown is going to last you forever. The last thing you should look out for is potentially if you're having a crown or veneer, the dentist will likely need to prepare your teeth. And what does that mean? That means they're gonna do a little small drilling around the tooth in order to fit the crown on that tooth. There are such things as no prep veneers. They're very, 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 very thin. They may not work in everybody's case, but there is sometimes that option to do that. Like I said, it's pretty rare. Most dentists don't do those. But if your dentist does, it's worth asking them if they can do it for you. But what are some of the advantages of crowns and veneers? Number one is they look flippin' amazing. When you see those movie stars with basically perfect teeth, they probably have crowns or veneers. So it just looks so darn good. Sometimes that is the only way to get nice teeth. I'm an orthodontist, so I try to straighten teeth as much as I possibly can. But if teeth shape and color don't look good, what can you do? You need crowns and veneers. The other good thing about crowns and veneers is they don't stain. So your teeth can stay nice and white and pretty for a long, long time, more so than your natural teeth can. How many visits does it take to get a crown or veneer? Well, those are kind of different. To get a crown, typically at most offices, takes 2 visits. You come in, they prepare your teeth, you leave with the temporary, and then 2 or 3 weeks later, you come back in and get your final crown. With a veneer, it may be slightly longer. Some dentists who are very particular, they like to give you what they call a wax up. So you'll come in, they'll take an impression of your teeth, come back the next time, you look at a wax up and make sure you like it. Then they'll actually prepare the teeth that day. And then the next visit after that is when you get your final restorations. So it's not that uncommon to take 3 visits to get these beautiful veneers. So there you have it. You know the difference between a crown and a veneer. Remember, the biggest difference is how much tooth structure it's covering. Crown is going to go over the whole tooth, where veneer basically is going over the front and kind of crawls over a little bit. Veneers typically may be slightly more expensive than crowns, but it could be negligible depending on your specific circumstances. Remember to whiten those teeth before you get those crowns or veneers if you want them to match properly. Speaking of that, the journey is not over. If you want to learn more about whitening your teeth, click this link above and it's going to give you all the information you need about whitening your teeth, and I'll see you in the next video.